Hello friend, my name is Asindra and today I'm going to continue playing for you Cinderella Phenomenon with Comp.
Hello.
Last time, the witch is alive and she's causing I wanted to say havoc and chaos and so I said
Chaos.
chaos.
Step back. Wub wub wub.
Parfait quickly steps in front of us and an invisible barrier appears just as Mother conjures a series of sharp ice projectiles. They bounce harmlessly off the shield, but I can feel the rumble in the ground as they tumble to the floor.
Ugh.
Parfait! Parfait is still kneeling on the ground, but now I can see blood on her lips.
Asindra.
I look down at my father. His shirt is soaked with blood, but his eyes are still barely open. Father! I feel tears brimming in my eyes. Lots of crying recently.
Yeah, it's a very emotional climax.
Yeah. The room fills with light, this time emanating from the floor. Slowly, our surroundings begin to blur.
Go then. Run, Parfait. That's all you have ever done.
Parfait's voice is pressed and pained as she speaks.
We will stop you, Hildir.
The last thing I see is Mother's wicked smile. Then the light swallows us whole. When the light fades, we are back in the Marchen. Parfait is still on the ground, though now she seems like she might sink into it. It's Anne Rice.
Anne Rice! Lady Parfait! I'll be fine. Just call Rumple, quickly.
Walt starts from the room immediately.
Rumpelstiltskin, get your ass in here.
Father, please hold on. My father's clothes are now dyed a thick crimson that stains my hands and dress. Moments later, Waltz returns with Rumple. He rushes over to the king the moment he sees him. Rumple tears my father's shirt open, revealing a deep wound on his chest. He quickly looks over his body, then attempts to apply pressure to the wound, but the bleeding does not stop. Fuck. He's lost too much blood. Can't you do something? I will do my best, but there is only so much I can do, Princess. I cannot perform miracles. There is a faraway look in his eyes as he says this, an almost pained expression on his face. His helpless expression makes the panic surge in me again. You call yourself a doctor?
Asindra, calm down.
I will not.
Cannot.
I cannot lose him, Waltz.
I don't have much time left, Asindra.
I turn to look down at my father, my eyes filling with tears. No, 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 don't say that, Father.
I wanted to see you become queen, but it seems that this is the end for me. Damn, bro.
I collapse beside Father and he reaches up a shaking hand to touch my wet cheek.
Protect our kingdom.
I can only nod at him.
I will always be with you. I love you, Asindra, and I am proud that you are my daughter.
Thanks, Comp. Father smiles at me, and it is so genuine and warm that it brings fresh tears to my eyes. His eyes slowly close, but the smile never leaves his lips. Father? I shake him, but he does not react.
He dead.
No. No! I lean over my father, willing him to come back, to open his eyes, but he is no longer breathing. For the first time in my life, I cry for my father.
I was about to say, is that the fucking end?
Yes, that's the end. Rip. We got an ending. The ending was the dad dies. Yep. Ever since my father's death, I have locked myself in my room. I am filled with constant grief and pain, but have become numb on the inside. Even when I want to cry, the tears won't come.
Sindra, I brought you something to eat.
I am in no mood to eat. Walt sets the tray down and walks toward me. The blankets crumple as he sits down beside me. Slowly, he wraps his arms around me and strokes my hair.
What happened wasn't your fault, Sindra. You did what any father would do for his daughter.
He did not deserve to die the way that he did. By Mother's hand.
I know.
I curl my fingers into Walt's shirt. I do not want to lose anyone anymore, Waltz. Waltz continues to stroke my hair.
It'll be fine, I promise. For now, you need to rest, Sindra. I'll be here by your side until you fall asleep.
He plants a kiss on my forehead, and I close my eyes, relishing the warmth. Waltz's hold is firm but comfortable, and I sink into his arms as I fall into a dreamless sleep. Days later, the palace announces Father's death. It isn't long before Alcaster is given his crown. The announcement of his ascension comes with an explanation of the king's death. The palace paints me as a criminal, telling the townsfolk that I was the one who killed the king. I am labeled a fugitive, and the royal family is officially declared missing. We have all been in this hiding together since then, the royal family included. Now it has been 2 weeks since Father died. The longer time moves on, the more aware I become of one gaping realization. Mother has not yet shown herself to the public. What could she be plotting? I place my hand over my heart, willing the pain away. Every time I think of Mother, I remember the sword of light that went through my father's body. Enough time has passed. Even though I am suffering losses, I cannot stand idle. I have a promise to fulfill. I will protect our kingdom. I am about to go back to my room when Parfait calls me. Dolores stands beside her.
Where is Delora during the fight? That would have been handy.
She was off on some business. That's why she didn't go with them in the first place.
Right, I forgot. Fuck. Sindra, can we talk with you?
I look away, avoiding their eyes. What is it that you want to discuss with me?
It's about the Tenebrarum, or the Dark Crystal. Despite Hildir's revival, it appears that the crystal's light is still dim. That can only mean one thing. Hildir is still weak.
Still weak?
Hildir was absorbing all of your powers when we found you. We interrupted the process. The crystal was not able to absorb all of the magic you now possess. That is why she is still weak. Also, there was something else that bothered me about the crystal. Something odd.
Odd?
A bearer has a very strong bond with their crystal. A mutual relationship of sorts. But that bond was absent when she returned.
What are you saying?
It seems as if the crystal is forsaking their bond.
What?
It seems even the crystal knows that Hildir's time has come and gone. Princess, the crystal has already chosen you as its next bearer. It's a small blessing, but it doesn't change the fact that Hildir is still strongest witch. At least, that's what she wants us to think.
Parfait and Delora exchange a glance.
The crystal has chosen its next bearer, and you have just as much potential, if not even more.
Delora turns to me, her usual lax expression more solemn.
Are you ready to learn magic, Sindra? Magic that you will potentially use to defeat your mother?
I have never used magic before in my life. I have never been raised as a witch, and using magic to defeat Mother, I do not know.
Well, regardless of what decision you make, We'll all be here to support you. Delora and I want you to know that.
How is it that they are still willing to help me when I was the one that caused this whole mess? I need some fresh air. I begin to walk toward the door when I see Ophelia walk in from the tavern. Our eyes briefly meet and she opens her mouth to say something, then stops when I shake my head. I do not want to hear her blame me for my father's death. Certainly that must be what she is thinking. Ophelia frowns but does not speak. I quicken my pace, almost running as I head into the forest, with no escort, even though there are witches looking for me. 'Cause I'm a fucking idiot.
Right?
The night is silent and calm, and the only sound I can hear is the gentle sway of the grass as I step through it. Mother is back because of me. If I hadn't revived her, Father would still be alive. How am I supposed to face everyone knowing that? Waltz has been trying to cheer me up. While I appreciate his company and concern, even he cannot help me come to terms with my mistakes. I hear footsteps behind me. I turn to see Waltz approaching with a frown on his face.
Asindra.
Please, I am not in the mood to listen to your reassurances again. I do not need you to tell me again that this was not my fault.
Asindra, your father wouldn't want to see... What the... I think I had a stroke.
Are you okay?
Just stop being able to read halfway through a sentence again. Jesus. Asindra, your father wouldn't want to see you like this.
How would you know what my father wanted? I snap at him without meaning to, not bothering to hide the irritation in my voice.
He'd want you to walk forward, not linger on a past that cannot be changed. You've been distancing yourself from us since the king passed. Don't you think that I haven't noticed? Why is that?
Because this is the only way I can keep them safe.
To the dice.
To the dice.
To the dice. To the dice. The dice say that's a natural one.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Dice were really decisive. You know exactly what I mean.
I am tired, Waltz.
You're avoiding the subject again.
Because there is nothing for me to say.
I want to show you something.
Really?
Then he whips out his dick.
Yep.
Keep your eyes open, Asindra. You can't miss this. Ugh.
Walt snaps his fingers and golden orbs of light suddenly spring to life around us. Aww. I can only marvel at the orbs of light floating around us. They look like stars dancing through the night. It's beautiful.
You cannot truly appreciate how bright a star is without darkness.
Walt snaps his fingers again and most of the lights go out.
During difficult times, the lights grow dimmer.
He snaps again until only one light remains.
When you're all alone, it grows even dimmer still. There are things that you cannot do on your own. Otherwise, you will risk snuffing your own light out.
Another snap and the golden orbs return, this time in great numbers. The lights are brighter than they were before.
You're not alone, Asindra. I love you, and it hurts to see you suffer alone like this.
My heart is pounding so hard I fear it might escape my chest. In this moment it feels as if time has stopped, and it is just the two of us. All I can see is Waltz. As I stand here staring at him, I come to a realization. I love him. When did this happen? I mean, you were there for most of it.
I don't know. When the fuck did that happen? Like, I can't track the last time that I fell for someone, but like I can definitely, pin down like looking in retrospect,
Yeah.
honey, is a lot easier at these things. Like when did I start falling for him? And okay. I'm a dumbass.
If it
Like
helps, she's still learning emotions, so
that is true. That's true. She now has what,
like
five
5.
five whole emotions now.
She's working on it.
She's working on it. Soon she'll get a full set of 12.
Yeah. After a few moments, I realize that it does not matter. I stand up on the tip of my toes so I can cup Waltz's face in my hands. I move before I can think, leaning over to place a light kiss on his lips. Aww. I feel an arm around me as Waltz pulls me closer. The kiss becomes more heated, and I feel gentle flame stirring in my stomach, even as my mind becomes foggy.
This isn't becoming one of those visual novels, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, good.
I feel his tongue on my lips, but when I part them, he's suddenly drawn away, his face deep red.
Sorry, I need to catch my breath.
I feel the heat in my cheeks, and I have to fight back my embarrassment. I just kissed Waltz. I look up at Waltz, suddenly realizing how close he is to me. I quickly bury my face into his chest to hide my embarrassment. Waltz's chest rises and falls with his gentle laughter.
You're so cute.
Thanks. I try. I close my eyes, allowing his warmth to envelop me like a blanket.
I love you, my little star. This is not just your battle anymore, Asindra. You don't have to carry this burden alone. So please, trust in me. Trust in us.
I am overwhelmed, but Waltz's words make me feel strangely light, as if a weight has truly been lifted from my shoulders. I will. Thank you.
We should go back now, or else everyone might get worried.
Waltz places a soft kiss on my forehead and smiles at me as he pulls away. He extends a hand towards me.
Let's go, my little star.
I smile as I slowly take his hand. We walk back to the Marchen hand in hand, momentarily forgetting about all the bad things that have transpired. Aww.
Aww.
Chapter 8, Hope. We're still only on Chapter 8.
For fuck, there's like, isn't it there like 12 or 10 chapters?
I think it's 10.
If it's 12, I'm gonna cry.
Well.
The thing is that like half an hour ago I had the thought like, hey, maybe we could finish this tonight. No.
I doubt it. It would have been, like, it seems like the Hildir being brought back to life and the king dying would have been the climax, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
It has been almost 3 weeks since Mother's arrival, and yet I have not heard or seen anything of her.
She's
What?
an invalid.
What are you planning to do, Mother? Parfait told me before that the Dark Crystal had already chosen me as its next bearer. Does that have anything to do with why Mother is still in hiding? It is impossible not to feel the weight of my new responsibility. I have not yet fully accepted that I am now the bearer, but I cannot run from this responsibility for long. The Dark Crystal's duty... The Dark Crystal Bearer's duty is to work alongside Parfait to balance the light and darkness of the kingdom. Cin's duty is to be able to speak properly and read out loud. And yet... That balance had only just begun mending before my mother's sudden revival. I'm just thinking Mother's Revival would be a great band name.
Right, like I was just thinking like that's an album name.
Yeah. For nights I have been wondering if there is some other way to stop Mother without fighting her. A small part of me hopes that perhaps Mother can still change.
Oh, honey.
I think about that, and then I remember how Mother so heartlessly killed Father as soon as she had been revived. She was sleeping for 4 years, but that did not change her mind. Even now, I can only assume that she still means to make this kingdom suffer. It feels as if my heart is twisting itself into a knot. I gasp when a bright spark fizzles to life in my hands.
Don't forget you can magic.
I clench and unclench my hands, taking a deep breath to calm myself. Ever since I started trying to work with magic, it has been activating on its own. Whenever I feel any sort of deep emotion, some type of electricity sparks in my hands. It is all I can do to try and keep my emotions in check. The last thing I want is to accidentally burn down the Marchen or hurt anyone inside of it. Delora and Waltz have both agreed to start teaching me how to use my magic. For the last few days, the forest near the Marchen has served as the training grounds. Parfait constantly cloaks the Marchen in powerful magic to keep our presence hidden from Mother and other witches. It allows us to use our magic without worrying about being tracked. Still, Parfait's constant spell has considerably weakened her. Delora and Waltz tried to convince her not to cast it in the first place, but Parfait insisted that we remain as close to the dark crystal as possible rather than move somewhere safer. She told us all that I need to be closer to the dark crystal as its bearer. As far as we know, the crystal is still unmoved in the palace. I know that the chance I will have to face Mother in a battle of magic is extremely high. Although I fear the outcome, I have no choice but to consider the possibility. Time is running out, and I do not have the luxury of waiting much longer. I must decide what I must do. They all believe that I am the only one who can stand up to Mother, even with so little practice. Last night I told Parfait that I would make my decision the next day, and that I would tell everyone what I had decided. Now is the time for that decision. And we will read what the decision is next time. So, thank you for watching. Comp, what do you have to say? So I love you. Bye.
Bye.